All of us get excited when we get to know that our favorite stars will be an on-screen couple, but we're often left disappointed by the amount of chemistry both of them have on screen. It often feels like they were forced to do that role. In this video, we'll talk about the actors who couldn't show a sign of chemistry even on screen. Stay with us till the end. Let's dive in. Let's start with Jennifer Aniston and Jay Moore. Jay Moore once said that he was so inspired and in awe of Jennifer Aniston that the chance of working with her made him cry, but it wasn't the case when they shared the same screen. The two couldn't stand each other on or off camera, and it clearly affected the product that came out. You won't expect such things from professional actors, but it is what it is. Coming up, Jackson Rathbone and Ashley Greene. We saw this duo in the Twilight Saga. Jackson Rathbone played the role of Jasper Hale and Ashley Greene played the role of Alice Cullen. They performed their individual roles really well, but when it came to showing some chemistry as a couple, the duo failed. The max they could do for the audience is to be seen together. No one watching the film could tell that they were a couple. Now, for Terry Hatcher and Pierce Brosnan. James Bond always has his way with the ladies, but even Bond himself failed when it came to Terry Hatcher. No one likes to wait for hours and hours, but Hatcher made him do just that. Brosnan got really upset by that. Some of these frustrations clearly affected the duo's chemistry on screen, and fans were quick to point that out. Brosnan even said some questionable things to the actress off camera, which he obviously shouldn't have. The Bond actor later found out that Terry Hatcher was pregnant at that time and was suffering from mood swings, which obviously made him incredibly guilty about his actions. Following up, Deborah Winger and Richard Gere. While expressing her feelings about working with Richard Gere, Deborah Winger claimed that she absolutely hated it. This was especially evident in the 1982 film An Officer and a Gentleman, where the two actors had absolutely no on-screen chemistry at all. Winger later accepted that maybe some of her insecurities whipped out on her co-stars on set. She also revealed that Gere wasn't the only co-actor she had disputes with. She once called movie director Taylor Hackford an animal. She also has a reputation for walking away from roles in the middle of filming. All this only proves that Richard Gere wasn't the problem the whole time, it was Winger herself. Next up, Sophia Loren and Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando and Sophia Loren's professional relationship got off to a really bad start. Their dispute kicked off while they were filming A Countess from Hong Kong in 1987. Marlon was actually the one who started it all by whispering into Loren's ears that she had long hair coming out of her nose. In Sophia Loren, a biography by Warren G., the author mentioned how Marlon insulted Sophia by glancing at her paintings and telling her, "You're sick and emotionally disturbed. You should see a psychiatrist." Now, that's not an ideal couple. This feud led to them having no chemistry on screen. Let's look at Sophia Bush and Chad Michael Murray. Things got off to a great start for One Tree Hill couple Sophia Bush and Chad Michael Murray as they started dating in 2003 and got married in 2005. However, their picture-perfect relationship took an ugly turn both on and off the screen when news broke that Murray cheated on Sophia with Paris Hilton, leading to the couple's divorce in the same year they tied the knot. Both of them tried to make it work on screen for One Tree Hill until Murray left the show in 2009 at the end of the 6th season. What's more, Kate Beckinsale and Luke Wilson. Vacancy star Luke Wilson and Kate Beckinsale were quite the on-screen matchup, we have to admit. Beckinsale claimed that she got fed up with Wilson really quickly while filming. According to reports, Wilson was the complete opposite of how he portrayed himself on screen. He was rude to her off camera and even showed up to work hungover on some occasions. The actor had very unprofessional behavior while shooting. He'd brag about women he hooked up with over the weekend. Despite this, Beckinsale did an amazing job of hiding all this mess and performed her part incredibly. Moving on, Marilyn Monroe and Tony Curtis. Ever thought about what it would feel like to kiss Hitler? It seems Tony Curtis got the answer to that question when he kissed Monroe on screen. He said it felt as if he was kissing Hitler. Monroe used to kid around during their intimate scenes. She'd stick her tongue far beyond his throat, making it difficult to breathe for him. It now makes sense why Curtis looked so uncomfortable on screen during their scenes together. Not to mention Aaron Taylor-Johnson and Keira Knightley. Cinema critics have mentioned that Aaron Taylor-Johnson and Keira Knightley were noticeably missing some passion in their movie Anna Karenina. They were supposed to act as a dream couple and show intense feelings about each other on screen, but they failed to do so. For example, a movie critic pointed out a scene where Vronsky and Karenina are dancing and people around them freeze for no apparent reason. The actors also had to face some harsh comments from the viewers. One said that I've never seen a worse meeting depicting love at first sight. How can the actor be looking so differently at her? And Keira's look is as indifferent as his. Coming up, Carey Mulligan and Leonardo DiCaprio. The sophisticated Carey Mulligan and the elegant Leonardo DiCaprio look good together, but in their movie The Great Gatsby, the couple wasn't able to provide their audiences with a moment that they could cherish over and over again. According to a lot of people, the couple looked really stiff on screen and just had terrible chemistry overall. Now, for Carrie-Anne Moss and Keanu Reeves. No matter how philosophical and innovative the Wachowskis' movies are, the love stories in them seem weak. No affection can be seen between Moss and Reeves in their film series The Matrix, and many fans have pointed this out. There even has been a hot discussion on Matrix-themed forums. It It seemed like they were just two humans who weren't made for each other. They couldn't even say "I love you" to each other with the right intensity. It may have been acceptable if they even acted like good friends. Some said they looked more like a brother and sister. We'd say that's too much. Following up, Kirsten Dunst and Tobey Maguire. Watson and Parker's love story is one of the strongest and most beautiful in comics in general. The duo goes through many obstacles to be together, but Kirsten Dunst and Tobey Maguire couldn't transmit those complicated and deep emotions in the movie trilogy about Spider-Man. The actors just don't look good together. They don't show any signs of being a couple. The only scene that made them look like a couple was when Peter's hanging upside down and kisses Mary Jane. That's an iconic scene, but there should have been more like it. Spider-Man with Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield as a couple turned out to be much better. Their couple checked all the boxes. Perhaps their on-screen chemistry was because of the fact that Andrew and Emma were in a close relationship at the time of filming. Up next, Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard also make the list. The two couldn't get along initially, but in the end, they fell in love and became a couple. But the movie characters failed to convince the audiences of this one. Claire and Owen had no on-screen chemistry in Jurassic World. In fact, their intimate scenes couldn't even convince the audience that they're a couple. Let's look at Amber Heard and Jason Momoa. Many viewers were left dissatisfied with DC's Aquaman. It was DC's failed attempt at making a romantic action film. Maybe Amber Heard wasn't the right choice for an on-screen romance with Jason Momoa. Viewers wanted some chemistry between Aquaman and Mera, and even their underwater CGI kiss lacked conviction. People also wrote that looking at the couple of Amber Heard and Jason Momoa was more boring than watching the paint dry. The president of DC Films, Walter Hamada, went as far as to say that there was a point when the studio actually considered recasting Heard's role as Mera because of the lack of chemistry between her and Momoa. We don't know about you, but that speaks volumes about how the couple came off on screen. Finally, Emilia Clarke and Kit Harington. Game of Thrones fans says that Daenerys and Jon Snow look flat together in the final seasons of the show. Now, if we compare this relationship to Jon's relationship with Ygritte, it's not even close. The directors got this one horribly wrong. We'll have to say those fans are right. The fact that Rose Leslie and Kit Harington fell in love with each other on the sets of the show played a big part here. Their real-life love story made the couple shine on screen, and they obviously showed more chemistry on screen than Clarke and Harington. That's a wrap for this video. Which actors do you think have no chemistry on screen? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. We'll see you in the next one.